Thank you for watching Why I Killed You TV. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Not to only this particular YouTube channel, but this particular video as well. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to be talking about Mike Gaine. Mike Gaine was 56 years old. He was a farmer from Kenmare, a small town in County Kerry, Ireland. He was friendly, well-liked, and known by many people in the community. He lived with his wife in farmland that had been in his family for generations. People often saw him around town, especially at the sheep auctions on Mondays, where he was a regular customer. On the morning of March the 20th, 2025, Mike had been feeding his sheep, roughly about 7:15 a.m. He went to the Kenmare Co-op Mark like usual. Then he stopped at a local store to buy animal feed. Later he was seen at another store where he bought a phone credit and a roll to eat. After paying, he got into his car and drove off. That was the last confirmed time anybody had ever seen Mike. The next day, when Mike didn't come home, his wife reported him missing. His car was later found parked at his farm. Inside the car was his wallet, the phone he had just bought credit for, and the roll from the store that he never got a chance to eat. The gate to the farm was locked, and there was no sign of Mike. His friends and family said he would never just walk away. He loved farming, and he always took care of his animals. A huge search started right away. Police, rescue teams, and even neighbors helped search the land, the woods, and the hills. They used drones and special cameras, but nothing was found. The search continued for weeks. Everyone hoped that he would be found safe. Then on May the 16th, 3 weeks after he went missing, a neighbor was spreading slurry liquid manure on Mike's farm when the machine got clogged. When they checked to see what was blocking it, they found human remains. Police came to the scene right away and started a murder investigation. The remains were found in the field close to Mike's farmyard. The police are using DNA testing to confirm the body to make sure that it was Mike's, but they believe that it is Mike's. They also arrested a man in his 50s, a suspect, for murder. He is being held in question. People in Kenmare are shocked and heartbroken. Mike was somebody everyone trusted. For weeks, the town had been filled with rumors and fear because no one believed that he would just up and vanish. Now there are many questions about what happened to him that need to be answered and why. Mike's friends and family and neighbors just want answers. They are hoping the police can figure out the truth and give Mike's loved ones some peace.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
Gardaí are tonight questioning a man on suspicion of the murder of farmer Michael Gaine. The dramatic development comes just 36 hours after partial remains, believed to be those of the 56-year-old, were found on his land outside Kenmare in County Kerry. The suspect, who is in his 50s, was arrested in Kerry earlier today. He is being held on suspicion of murder. That means he'd be detained for up to 24 hours. Now, there's no doubt this is a major development in the investigation into the disappearance of Mr. Gaine, who was last seen in a shop in Kenmare on the 20th of March. Officers spent weeks searching for him without any success. They concluded last month that he was dead, and on the 29th of April upgraded his missing person case to a homicide investigation. They believed he had either been murdered or had been accidentally killed, but were satisfied he died violently. Officers were still working on the case when Friday's dramatic developments happened. Neighbours of Mr. Gaine were spraying slurry on his land, taken from a tank on his farm, when they found suspected human remains and called in Gardaí. A search took place on Saturday and more remains, which were later confirmed to be human, were recovered. Gardaí now suspect that Mr. Gaine's remains were dismembered before being dumped in a slurry pit that had previously been searched by officers.
There's no denying the fact that this is probably one of the largest searches we've conducted in the Kerry division in recent times.
But now people are looking for answers. They still would like the family to have some closure in whatever form it may come. I think they had hoped for the first couple of days it would be a better outcome, but as time goes on, this looks less likely.
And I would just appeal to anybody who may know anything to cooperate with the Gardaí and the local community.
Somebody somewhere knows something.
So in your 25 years, you have never come across a case like this?
Not like this, really, no. No, it's extraordinary, really.
Time when we've never been more connected. How could someone vanish without a trace? Investigators have followed up more than 200 formal inquiries and recovered 1,500 hours of CCTV footage. But a question remains unanswered. Where is Michael Gaine?
Gardaí here in Kenmare continue to investigate the current whereabouts of 56-year-old Michael Gaine, who was reported missing from his home near Kenmare on Friday the 21st of March 2025.
Radio Kerry broadcaster Jerry O'Sullivan has been covering the disappearance of Mike Gaine on his mid-morning radio show. Born and raised in Kenmare, Jerry has known Mike and his family for a very long time.
The day after he went missing, when the word first went out, I was actually driving home in the afternoon, the evening from work, and I got a call and asked me if I had heard anything about Mike Gaine. I'm from Kenmare, so I know Mike and I know the family, and I said I hadn't. And by the time I got home, the word had spread that there was a search on, that he hadn't been seen since the day before, and that the Gardaí were involved. And from there, really, it took off.
Of course you'd be extremely concerned, in a way we never were before, about a person's absence from our community, because we never had it before. So we're in uncharted waters and uncharted territory. This is something new for all of us.
Right from the start, people felt, friends of his who'd know him would have met him most days and, been hunting with him or interacted with him at rallies or in some of his interests. They all got the feeling that something was not right straight away. And that's why they jumped into action with the search.
The 20th of March started out as a regular Thursday morning here in Kenmare. Mike Gaine was here at his local Centra buying phone credit. The CCTV camera above the tills captures him as he's leaving the store. Nobody knew at that time that would be the last recorded image of the local farmer.
The last sighting of him is on Thursday, March 20th, but he wasn't reported missing until Friday the following day.
So there's a gap of time there, isn't there?
There's a slight gap of time there, yeah.
None of us know what happened to him.
Exactly. And I think that's what the whole thing has stunned the community, because nobody has any idea what happened to Mike. He just appeared in Centra on CCTV, and the Jeep is parked at his farm, and there hasn't been a single sighting or clue since.
Michael then left the Centra in Kenmare, travelling in his bronze-coloured RAV4 Jeep. That vehicle was found here at his farm, a 6-minute drive away, just off the N71 at Carrick East. His belongings, including his mobile phone, were found inside the vehicle, but Michael had vanished, leaving no trace.
Since the very first moment of Mike's disappearance, every one of us were concerned, because Mike would be what I would consider to be a very sound, solid, sensible individual. And from the very moment his disappearance was announced in that way, we were all immediately concerned, because he wasn't a person who would be prone to, or that you might expect a disappearance of. So he was the exact opposite. He's a very sound person, a very popular person in our community, a person who everyone that ever encountered him was friends with him.
With no hard evidence emerging in the days following Mike's disappearance, speculation quickly took hold. Some questioned the positioning of Mike's vehicle, left in a way that many said didn't feel right. Then came a discovery that further fueled suspicions, a stash of weapons found hidden in a nearby cave. While Gardaí made no official link, the community was left with even more questions.
We heard that something had been found, we heard the nature of what was found, but then very quickly the Gardaí kind of sources came out and said, look, that's not related. They're not expecting it to be related to the case in any sort of way. I guess when you do a search as thorough of land as remote as this, you're probably going to find some things like that.
Yeah, I understand there were hunting weapons that were found in a kind of a hunting lodge or a cave that was at the top of the mountain. Now, the guards haven't ruled them out completely, but they haven't ruled them in either. They just said they're literally, I think it was a crossbow and arrow, a hatchet, but that wouldn't be uncommon for hunting. So they would just be hunting weapons that maybe, that area is quite well known for deer. So there's a number of hunting lodges or hunting platforms up around the lands, not belong to Mike himself, but just around that area for people. So the guards have just said they're looking at the items, but they haven't, they don't seem to be of any significance at this moment.
Like, the sad reality is that, like, eventually the search will come to an end, Jerry, won't it? I mean, that's really hard to kind of even start to think about as we head towards the month mark.
Yeah, I guess it can't go on forever, but I suppose there will be hope there all the time from the people in Kenmare and his friends and the community and his family that some sort of an answer will be provided and some sort of a breakthrough will come. I guess that's what everyone is hoping for every day, that the news will come, that something has been found, that some new direction in the case, some way of providing an answer as to where Mike is.
Gardaí are tonight questioning a man on suspicion of the murder of farmer Michael Gaine. The dramatic development comes just 36 hours after partial remains, believed to be those of the 56-year-old, were found on his land outside Kenmare in County Kerry. The suspect, who is in his 50s, was arrested in Kerry earlier today. He is being held on suspicion of murder. That means he'd be detained for up to 24 hours. Now, there's no doubt this is a major development in the investigation into the disappearance of Mr. Gaine.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.